The saying, Bella gerant alii, tu felix Austria nube, is very well known. Others may wage war, you happy Austria marry. But what exactly does that mean? Which marriages brought new territories into the Austrian ruling house? Today we look at the 5 weddings that made the Habsburg Empire so huge, step by step. Number 1. The marriage of Maximilian I to Mary of Burgundy in 1477. When Charles the Bold, Duke of Burgundy, died in the Battle of Nancy in 1477, his daughter Mary became the most coveted bride in Europe. Why? In the late Middle Ages, the Duchy of Burgundy was one of the richest and most influential territories in Europe. This was primarily due to its geographical location, as Burgundy was strategically situated between France, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Netherlands. Above all, control over the Burgundian Netherlands, Flanders, Brabant, Holland, etc. gave the duchy access to the most important trading centers and seaports in Northern Europe. Secondly, because of its economic power. Flanders and Brabant were highly developed economic regions. Cities such as Bruges, Ghent, Antwerp, and later also Mechelen were hubs of international trade, and the cloth industry in Flanders, in particular, made enormous profits. And thirdly, the court culture, because the Burgundian court was one of the most magnificent in Europe and attracted artists, poets, and musicians. By marrying Maria of Burgundy, the future Emperor Maximilian I was able to gain not only the Duchy of Burgundy, but also the Order of the Golden Fleece, which was founded in 1430 by Duke Philip of Burgundy. This order became the most important house order of the Habsburgs and remains so to this day. If you want to learn more about Maximilian, check out this video. And if you're interested in the Order of the Golden Fleece, you can find it here. Maximilian's marriage to Mary of Burgundy was indeed a love match, but it did not last long, as Maria died 5 years later. Maximilian's second marriage was for financial reasons. In 1494, he married Bianca Maria Sforza from Milan. No children were born from this marriage. However, this was not necessary, because through his 2 children from his first marriage, Maximilian could acquire more regions to the Habsburg Empire through his children. The marriage of Philip the Handsome to Joanna of Castile in 1496. Through his 2 children, Maximilian established connections with the Spanish royal house. His daughter, Margaret, married the heir to the throne, John, and his son Philip married John's sister, Joanna. Thus, the 2 Habsburg siblings married the 2 children of King Ferdinand of Aragon and Queen Isabella of Castile. Since the Spanish heir to the throne, John, died without producing any children, Spain fell to Joanna, later known as Joanna the Mad, and her son, whom she had with Philip, Charles. Thanks to the great legacy of his father and mother, he would go down in world history as Emperor Charles V, who ruled over an empire where the sun never set. You can find out more about Philip the Handsome and Joanna the Mad in this video. And of course, there's also one about Emperor Charles V. Number 3. Charles V and Isabella of Portugal, 1526. Let's stay with Charles V for a moment. He married Isabella, the daughter of the Portuguese King Manuel I, in 1580. Portugal passed to the House of Habsburg, namely to Charles's son Philip II, who became King Philip I of Portugal. He was doubly legitimized, not only because his mother had been the daughter of the Portuguese king, but also because he had married his cousin, Maria of Portugal, the daughter of the Portuguese king John II. This marriage strengthened the ties to the Portuguese Empire and brought wealth from overseas, and consolidated the Habsburg influence on the Iberian Peninsula. You can find the video about the Spanish line of the Habsburgs and their confusing marriage relationships here. And a second Habsburg-Portuguese marriage will be concluded in the 19th century, namely that between Leopoldine of Habsburg and Dom Pedro of Braganza. By the way, if you liked this video, I'd be delighted if you'd like and share it. Thank you. Number 4. The double wedding of Vienna in 1515. This was truly a masterpiece of Habsburg marriage policy. Two Habsburgs and two Jagiellos, the ruling families of Hungary and Bohemia, were married in Vienna. The wedding was again arranged by our Emperor Maximilian. After successfully marrying off his own children, he now planned to do the same for his grandchildren. We have heard about Maximilian's eldest grandson, Charles. The future of his younger siblings was now decided in the Vienna double wedding. Charles's younger brother Ferdinand married Anna Jagiello, and Ferdinand's sister Maria married Anna's brother, Louis Jagiello. However, it was Louis who died in the Battle of Mohacs in 1529 against the Ottoman army. When the Jagiello line died out, the Habsburgs now had the right of succession to Bohemia and Hungary. This was not only a territorial advantage, but also created a bulwark against the expanding Ottomans. Austria thus finally became a Central European great power. You can find out more about Ferdinand and the conflicts between the Habsburgs and Ottomans in this video. Number 5. Maria Theresia and Francis Stephen of Lorraine in 1736. With the marriage of Maria Theresia and Francis Stephen, Duke of Lorraine, the Habsburgs gained Tuscany. In order to marry Maria Theresia of Habsburg, Francis Stephen had to give up his own Duchy of Lorraine, but in return, he received the Grand Duchy of Tuscany in Italy as a compensation, since the ruling Medici family there had died out. Maria Theresia's second eldest son, Leopold, founded the Tuscan line of the Habsburgs. Maria Theresia's third eldest son married the heiress of Modena and thus founded the Modena branch of the Habsburgs. This meant that the Habsburgs were also firmly established in Italy now. You can also find videos about Maria Theresia and her children on my channel. The quote, "Let others wage war, you happy Austria get married," may sound nice, but unfortunately it's not entirely correct. Despite their many political marriage alliances, the Habsburgs fought numerous wars and had to enforce many of their inheritance claims militarily despite the marriages. Nevertheless, through cleverly arranged marriages, the Habsburgs brought together an empire that shaped Europe for centuries. What do you think? Was this a brilliant power strategy? Or was the House of Habsburg simply lucky because the other ruling houses no longer had any surviving children? Feel free to write your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow more exciting stories about Austria and the House of Habsburg.